Welcome to the second part of Administrative Tribunal Act, Procedure and Powers of the Tribunal. Section 22 of the Administrative Tribunal Act 1985 lays down the powers and procedure of tribunal discussed below. The tribunal is not bound to follow the procedure laid down by the Code of Civil Procedure 1908. It has the power to regulate its own procedure but may abide by the principle of natural justice. A tribunal shall decide the application and cases made to it as rapidly as possible, and every application shall decide after scrutinizing the document and written submission and the prevailing oral arguments. The tribunal have the same powers are vested of the civil courts under the Code of Civil Procedure 1908 while trying a suit with regard to the following subject matter: summoning and enforcing the attendance of any person and examining him on oath, production of documents, receiving evidence on affidavit. Ask for any public record or document for any office under section 123 or 124 of the Indian Evidence Act 1872, issuing commission for examination of witness and documents, reviewing its decisions, deciding the case ex parte, setting aside any order passed by it ex parte, any other matter prescribed by the central government, leading case laws. When you see in case of SP Sambat Kumar versus Union of India, the constitutional validity of an administrative tribunal act was predominantly challenged on the ground of that this act excludes the jurisdiction of the High Court under Article 226 and 227 with regard to service matter and hence destroyed the concept of judicial review, which was an essential feature of the Indian Constitution. Judgment. The five-judge bench of the court upheld the validity of the act except Section 6(1)(c). The court held that although the act was excluded the jurisdiction of judicial review exercised by the High Court in service matter, it does not entirely exclude the concept of judicial review. The jurisdiction of Supreme Court under Article 32 and 136 has not been excluded by these acts and kept unscattered. Thus, there still exists an authority where matters of injustice can be entertained by judicial review. Judicial review, which is a part of the basic structure of the Indian Constitution, can be taken away for a particular area only if an alternative, effectual institutional mechanism or an authority is provided. However, Section 6(1)(c) of the Act was held to be unconstitutional as it gave unrestricted power to the government to appoint the chairman, vice chairman and other members of the tribunal. Those appointments must have been made by the government in a meaningful and effective manner only after consulting the Chief Justice of India. The court recommended that the term of 5 years prescribed under the Act for the chairman, vice chairman and other members of the tribunal is not rational because it would act as a dissuasion for the good and the generous people to accept the job in the tribunal and should therefore be reasonably extended. The decisions given by the Supreme Court came into effect through the Administrative Tribunal Amendment Act 1987. In the case of Union of India versus Gandhi, the President Madras Bar Association, the constitutionality of National Company Law Tribunal, National Company Law Appellate Tribunal on the following grounds: Parliament does not have authority to vest the judicial function in any tribunal that have been traditionally performed by the High Court since so long. Transferring the entire company's jurisdiction to the High Court, to the tribunal, or violative of the doctrine of rule of law, separation of power and independence of judiciary. The various provisions of Part 1b and 1c of the Companies Act are defective and unconstitutional, being in breach of constitutional principle of rule of law, separation of power and independence of judiciary. Judgment. The court upheld the constitutionality of the NCLT and the NCLAT in exercising the power and jurisdiction of the High Court, subjected to necessary changes to be made in the Companies Act 1956 as amended in 2002 through the suitable amendment. The court acknowledged and upheld the constitutional power of the Parliament to constitute the tribunal and adjudicate the disputes. The legislative competence of the Parliament to provide for creation of the courts and tribunal can be traced to Article 245, 246 and 247 of the Constitution, read along with the various entries of the Union List and the Concurrent List, which is in no way affected or controlled by Article 323A or 323B of the Indian Constitution. The court further added that it cannot be assumed that constitution of tribunals and transferring judicial powers per se infringe the rule of law, separation of powers or independence of judiciary because the Constitution enables both the courts and the tribunals to exercise jurisdictional powers. When you see the advantages of administrative tribunal, the concept of administrative tribunal was introduced because it has certain advantages over ordinary courts. Few of them are mentioned below. First, flexibility. The introduction of administrative tribunal endangered flexibility and versatility in judicial system of India. Unlike the procedures of ordinary courts, which are stringent and inflexible, the administrative tribunal have quite an informal and easygoing procedure. Speedy justice. The core objective of administrative tribunal is to deliver quick and quality justice. Since the procedure has not been so complex, so it is easy to decide the matters quickly and effectively and efficiently. Less expensive. The administrative tribunals take less time to solve the cases as compared to the ordinary court. As a result, expenses are reduced. On the other hand, the ordinary courts have cumbersome and slow going, making the litigation costly. Therefore, administrative tribunals are cheaper than the ordinary courts. Quality justice. If we consider the present scenario, the administrative tribunal are the best and the most effective method of providing adequate and quality justice in less time. Relief to courts. The system of administrative jurisdiction has lowered down the burden of the cases on the ordinary courts. Drawbacks of administrative tribunal. Administrative tribunal play a very crucial role in the welfare of modern society, yet it has some defects in it. Some criticism of administrative tribunal are discussed below. First is against the rule of law. It can be observed that the establishment of an administrative tribunal has repudiated the concept of rule of law. Rule of law was propounded to promote equality before law, supremacy of ordinary law, and over the arbitrary function of the government. Administrative tribunals somewhere restrict the ambit of rule of law by providing separate law and procedure for certain matters. Lack of specified procedure. Administrative adjudicatory body do not have any rigid set of rules or procedures. Thus, there is a change of violation for the principle of natural justice. No prediction to future decisions. Since the administrative tribunal do not follow precedents, it is not possible to predict the future decisions. Scope of arbitrariness. The civil and the criminal courts work on the uniform code of procedure prescribed under CPC and CRPC respectively. But the administrative tribunal have no such stringent procedure. They are allowed to make their own procedure, which may lead to arbitrariness in the functioning of these tribunals. Absence of legal expertise. It is not necessary that the members of the administrative tribunal must belong to legal background. They may be an expert in different fields but not essentially trained in judicial work. Therefore, there might be a lack of legal expertise, which is an indispensable part of resolving a dispute. As to last, if you see, the administration has become an important part of the government as the welfare of citizens' life. Due to the increasing role, it is important to establish a competent authority for the redressal of papal grievances and adjudication of disputes. Therefore, the concept of administrative tribunal was emerged and is dynamically flourishing in India, holding certain flaws and strengths. Thank you.